For a wedding, you'll know what an expensive business it is. But if you've had a run of other people's weddings to go to over the last few weeks, you might feel like you've forked out almost the same amount. New research suggests the cost of going to a wedding, see somebody else's wedding, is now £215 per person.
That is quite an eye-opener, isn't
It's
it?
a lot of money, and so it's this time of the year you can go to 3 or 4. Even more, if you've been to a hen party or a stag party beforehand, you could probably double that. Zoe Binning is here. She's a professional wedding planner based in Cardiff. Joins us now. Hello, Zoe.
Hi there.
£215. Is that about right?
It probably is, to be honest. I think it varies. I think if it's a local friend, you don't have to travel. Maybe you don't need to, it's not going to cost quite that much. But if you're travelling to a wedding, if, as you say, you've got a couple of weddings to go to, and maybe it's the same group of friends, you probably need a new dress or a new outfit for every single one.
Well, we mentioned this in the office today when the gentlemen in the room were going, "It's not that expensive." And we said, "You don't have to buy a new outfit every wedding, do you?"
Absolutely. A dress, maybe a pair of shoes, maybe a bag. Have your nails done.
Well, it is expensive. When you do finally get to the wedding, though, at least there's free food and drink.
Absolutely.
Usually.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the one thing that I'm finding now is that the brides and grooms are really keen to make sure that their guests have a wonderful time, and they're really keen to make sure the food is fantastic and the entertainment's really good, and that they can have a really wonderful day, and they've got a lot going on, so it kind of hopefully justifies that spend.
Do you ever come across some couples who don't really appreciate how much it costs their friends to come to their weddings, and not everybody can afford it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, if your friend maybe doesn't earn the same that you do, then actually you can forget exactly the implications. And I think as well, probably brides and grooms are aware of how much the wedding's costing them, and that's tens of thousands in many cases.
Yes.
Then, to be quite honest, they that's all they can probably think about. And loads of couples are really aware that in hindsight that they didn't probably think through.
In hindsight,
yeah,
when the friends aren't talking to them anymore.
So is that something that you tell your couples to be mindful of? Because weddings are so lavish these days. Sometimes there's a theme and you're instructed to come in a particular colour, or they want you to wear fascinators, or they want you to wear hats, or they're getting married abroad and all the expense that brings. Do you sort of tell couples to be a little bit mindful of things like that?
I think it's difficult because some couples are quite relaxed about what they want and really aware that their guests do have to travel or do have to fork out quite a lot for an outfit or the rest, and others are less so, and whilst they accept, but also I think it kind of what comes around goes around quite often. It's a group of friends. They're probably all possibly getting married over the course of a year, a couple of years, so they're all paying as guests at some point.
Unless, of course, there is one person who doesn't get married.
Yeah.
It's forked out for everybody else. It is tricky, isn't it? Overseas weddings, blimey. Where do you start?
Yeah, I mean that's a difficult one again, isn't it? Because overseas weddings are clearly cheaper for the bride and groom. They tend not to invite as many guests. The guests who they do tend to invite probably are more likely to be close friends and family.
You have to make a holiday out of it then, don't you?
And that's it. And I think quite often they do.
And I hope they don't get married in Albania or somewhere.
Yeah, so for somewhere at least with a bit of sun.
Thank you very much, Zoe. That's Zoe Binning, professional wedding planner based in Cardiff.
Yeah, and if anyone is off to a wedding at the weekend, Sue is here to tell us what the weather's doing, and it's not